Chapter 1. Kicking Dreams Alive. The rain droned against the corrugated roof of the community center, a steady rhythm that matched the pulse of the young girl inside. Lilian Jackson, barely 12 years old, balanced, a deflated football on her knee, her fingers tracing the worn leather like it was a sacred artifact. Outside, the 1990s British streets hummed with the distant chatter of market stalls and the occasional blare of a car horn, but in here time moved differently. The air smelled of damp wool and old wood, and the walls were lined with faded posters of football legendsmen in black and white photographs, their faces frozen in mid-kick, mid-celebration. But Lilian didn't need a poster to know what she wanted. She wanted to be one of them. Her father's voice cut through the quiet. "You sure about this, love?" He stood in the doorway, his work boots caked with mud, his hands still rough from a day's labor. The question wasn't about football. It was about the world outside, about the way people looked at a black girl who dared to dream too loud. Lilian didn't answer. Instead, she stood, the ball now cradled in her arms like a promise. I'm sure, the first time she stepped onto a proper pitch, the ground felt alien beneath her feet. The grass was slick with rain, the white line sharp against the green, and the other kids mostly buoyed her with a mix of curiosity and skepticism. But Lilian didn't see them. She saw the goalposts, the net, the space between her and the dream. She ran, she kicked, she fell, and she got back up. By the time she was 16, she wasn't just playing, she was leading. The local youth team, a ragtag group of kids from the estate, had never won a match. But under Lilian's guidance, something shifted. She didn't just coach them, she believed in them, and that belief was contagious. "You're not just running for yourself," she'd tell them, her voice steady, her eyes burning with conviction. "You're running for every kid who's ever been told they don't belong." The first victory came on. A cold November afternoon, the crowd was sparse, the stands half empty, but the roar when the final whistle blew was deafening. Lilian stood on the sidelines, her hands clenched into fists, her heart pounding. The boys rushed her, their faces alight with joy, their voices a chorus of triumph, and for the first time, she felt it the weight of something bigger than herself. This wasn't just a game, it was a rebellion. But the world wasn't ready for a black girl coaching football. The letters came first, anonymous, venomous, slipping through the mail slot like poison. And the whispers. Then the outright refusal. When she applied to coach at a local academy, the response was a polite but firm no. "We don't think it's the right fit," they said, their smiles tight, their eyes sliding away. Lilian didn't cry. She didn't scream. She just looked at them, her chin lifted, her voice calm. "Then you're missing out." She took her fight to the streets. Grassroots coaching, community centers, anywhere that would let her in. She built her own legacy, one kick, one lesson, one defiant smile at a time, and slowly the tide began to turn. By the time the 1990s rolled into the new millennium, Lilian Jackson wasn't just a coach. She was a force, a woman who had turned rejection into revolution, who had taken the barriers thrown in her path and built a bridge over them. The first black female football coach in Britain, the first of many. And as she stood on the sidelines of her first professional match, the stadium lights blazing above her, the crowd chanting her name, she knew this was only the beginning. The next chapter was waiting, and Lilian Jackson was ready to kick it alive.